So you're going to be able to use the notes for the test. So please make sure you take good notes. Terrence, where's your notebook, baby? Take out a piece of paper then. If you don't have your notebook, take out a piece of paper so you can have it. What happened to the backup one that I gave you? Did you take that with you? I think is this it? Is this yours or no? Shh. All right, here we go. Q1. We got page. Forgot y'all. Page 20. I know, right? I wasn't thinking that either. And this is cluster 1 study guide. Shh. All right, I'm going to do one of each kind of problem that could possibly be on your test, and you can use this to help you with some of the test questions. So please make sure that you take really good notes. Okay? Let's do the first one. The very first one is that you have to figure out between which two whole numbers is the square root of 67 and the square root of 80. Okay, lie. Where do they fall? Between which two whole numbers do they fall? Okay, I'm giving you a couple seconds to see if you can figure this out on your own. I'm going to give you a hint. Use the perfect square roots notes that we did. And let me go back which page that's on. It's on page 16. You can use those. Oh, that's actually cube root. Sorry. Let me go back. You can do 16, the first page. You got square roots there. You can do the square root foldable. You can use that. Page 16 tells you how to estimate. So you can go back to that page to figure out what two whole numbers is it in between. I'm going to pause to give you a chance to answer the first question. All right, so this is how you answer a question as such. Look, think about what your perfect squares are. Your perfect squares, and I'm going to list them real quickly. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. So the square root of 1 is equal to 1. This is a perfect square. 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is equal to 2. 4 is a perfect square. 3 times 3 is what? 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 9 is a perfect square. What's 4 times 4? 16. The square root of 16 is 4. 16 is a perfect square. 5 times 5? 25. The square root of 25 is 5. 25 is a perfect square. What's 6 times 6? It is 36. What's the square root of 36? 6. Okay. 7 times 7? 49. What's the square root of 49? What's the 7? 8 times 8? 64. And I'm going to pause here in a second, okay, to give you a chance. I just want to get them all out. That's okay. They're on my they're on Canvas, so you can always go back and get those pages, okay? The square root of 64 is 8. What's 9 times 9? 81. The square root of 81 is 9. All right, so look, the two perfect squares, the two square roots that we're looking for, we're trying to figure out what two whole numbers are they in between. So let's look for 67 first. 67 is not between these perfect square roots. It's not between 9 and 4. It's not between 9 and 16. It's not between 16 and 25. It's not between 25 and 36. It is not between 36 and 49. It is not between 49 and 64. But 67 is between perfect square roots 64 and the square root of 81. 80, the square root of 80 is also between these two perfect square roots. So we got it's between the perfect square root of 64 and it's between the perfect square root of 81. What is the square root of 64 equal to? What's that whole number? 8. What is the whole number for this? 9. So the answer is between 8 and 9. This is the answer that you're looking for. It says what two whole numbers? The two whole numbers are 8 and 9. They are going to try to trick you by putting 64 and 81. 64 and 81 are not whole numbers here. Okay? Any questions about why 8 and 9 is the answer? You will have a problem like this on your test. I'm going to pause for the calls to give you a chance to write. All right? Let's look at the next one. Keep writing, babe, okay? Let's do the next one. Yes, sweetie. Thank you. Shh. All right, number 2. 4 to the negative 2 power divided by 4 to the third power, raise that to the second. You will have a problem that looks similar to this. Please write it, and I'm going to show you how you need to solve this problem. All right, this is how you would solve this problem. Rewrite it so that it looks like what we've already covered. This is division. This is on top, the fraction, divided by, this is on the bottom of the fraction, 4 to the third, and we're raising this to the second. This is how we're used to seeing that. Please write it as such. I'm going to pause for the calls, give you a chance to write. And this is a negative 2 here. Okay? All right. So now the first thing we need to do is simplify the bottom, because on the bottom we have a power raised to a power. What do you do with the exponents here when you have a power raised to another power? You multiply them together. Okay? Power of a power, multiply. So the top, leave it alone for now. And on the bottom, multiply these exponents. So you get 4 to the what power? 6 power. Okay? So now this is what you're also used to seeing. When you divide exponents that have the same base, you're going to subtract the exponents. So here, you got 4, negative 2 is on top. So you're going to say negative 2 minus 6. Type this in your calculator to see what you get. We'll pause for the calls, give you a chance to write it in. All right, so here we go. Good, sweetie. All right, so we got 4 to the negative 8 power. Remember, no negative exponents. How do I write this as my final answer? Very good. 1 over 4 to the positive 8 power. This is your answer. Please write it. And this is a positive 8. Say again, baby. Yeah, because remember when we did this, if you have, that's a good question. I'm going to do a smaller one. If I have 2 to the third power over 2 to the fifth power, yes. Leave my door open. All right, here you would write this on the top as 2 times 2 times 2. Does that make sense to you? On the bottom, you would write it 5 times. Does that make sense so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you divide, 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. On the top, all you have is 1 times 1 times 1, right? So that's 1 on the top. On the bottom, you only have 2 2's left. So that's 2 to the second on the bottom. Okay, do you see how this is my answer as a fraction? Well, that's essentially what this is. Okay, because look, when I subtract the exponents, okay, well, I subtract the top exponent minus the bottom. So this is going to give me 3 minus 5. Well, what's 3 minus 5? it's going to be a negative. It's a -2. Do you see how these are the same exact answers? So that's essentially what this is right here. Okay, you got it, baby? Okay, so I'm going to pause. All right, so let's look at it. Let's look at number 2. Where's your notebook? I need you to take your notebook out. It's in that thing you call a book bag. All right, number 3. Come on, sweetie. Take out your notebook. If you need a notebook, I'll give you some paper. You can transfer it later. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's do this problem. You have 7 to the second power, raise it to the 5th, times 7, thank you, times 7 to the third power, and we're raising that to the second. We're going to write our answer in exponent form. Okay, I'm going to give you time to think about what you do first, and then I'm going to tell you how we would do this, okay? Okay, any ideas? What do we do with the exponents when you have an exponent raised to another exponent? Yes. You multiply them together. So this is going to be 2 times 5. What's 2 times 5? This is going to be 10. So this is 7 to the 10th power here. Bring down the times. We have another exponent raised to another exponent. What are we going to do with these exponents here? And what does that give us? 6. So now we have 7 to the 6th power. I'm going to pause to give us the time to write that down. All right. Now what are we going to do? We have 2 exponents with like bases, and you're multiplying. What do you do with the exponents here? Add them. So we get 10 plus what? 6. And that gives you 7 to the 16th power. Please write this down. You're going to see a problem very similar to this. Write it down just in case you forget. Power of a power, you multiply here. Okay? If you don't remember, you're going to multiply here. You might forget, so you might need to write. You multiply the exponents here. And then here, when you get to this part, you're adding the exponents. Right? Just in case you forget. You get to a problem tomorrow and you forget. The very next one. Let's suppose that you have, this problem says the volume of a cube. Remember, a cube is 3-dimensional. All the sides of a cube are exactly the same. So you need to be thinking to the third power when you see that, okay? So we have, what is it, honey? What do you need? What do you need? What's wrong? Okay, then can you please stop talking? If you don't need anything, then be quiet. If you need something, please tell me, okay? All right. The volume of a cube is 64 cubic centimeters. Okay. Then it says how many centimeters long is each side. Okay. How many centimeters is each side? You may see a problem very similar to this. They may use different numbers, but you may see the exact same problem written the exact same way, just different numbers. See if you can try to figure this answer out on your own, what each side length would be. Okay? Pause for the cause. What you get, babe? Okay, you got 4. Anybody, what you get? You got 8? You got 8? All right, so let's see how we do it. Shh. The formula for volume of a cube is S to what power? Nope. Shh. Nope, it's a cube to the third power. It has 3 dimensions. Length, width, and height are all the same measurement, so you can give it an S, side. You multiply all 3 sides together, the length, the width, and the height, and that will give you the volume of that cube. Okay. The volume here is 64. So replace V with 64. And this is a problem that was in your foldable that we did. So you go back and look at your foldable too. What's the opposite of cubing a number? Not squaring. How do you cube root? Very good, Julian. So we're going to do the cube root on both sides. What number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you 64 can? And if you don't remember how to type cube root in the calculator, because you're going to need to know that. Okay, in your calculator, does anybody remember where you go to do cube root? You press the X2. That's square root. Where's cube root? Math. What else? Number 4. Oops, sorry, y'all. Right here. And now you type in 64 and press enter. The answer is 4. Why is it 4, Miss Reyes? Because 4 times 4 times 4 is equal to 64. Or how do you type in 4 to the third power? 4, then what? Caret key. 3. Very good. Okay. All right. So here, S is equal to 4, or 4 is equal to S. Each side length, each of the sides of the cube are going to be 4 centimeters. 4, 4, 4. Each of the side lengths are 4. Please write this down. Pause for the cause. You are going to see a question like this. Yes, baby. You need more time? Number 5. A square. I didn't count them, baby, okay? A square has an area of 49 centimeters squared. That's the area. From this, they want to know what is the perimeter. Let's see if you can figure that out on your own. I'm going to pause for the call, see if you can figure that out on your own. Remember, I am going to allow you to use your notes for your test tomorrow, so please take good notes, okay? All right, we have a square. This is the area of a square. What's the formula for area of a square? Side to the power of 2. Very good. And it's not wrong to use length times width. However, both the length and the width are the same, so there's no point in using 2 different letters. Okay, it's just side to the second power. And S stands for side. Okay, so we're going to substitute what number, or which of these numbers, is only one number. 49 represents the area. So we're going to replace A with 49. Okay, so now how do we solve for S? What's the opposite of squaring a number? Square root. Okay, remember earlier when we said the opposite of cubing a number is cube root. So the opposite of squaring a number is square root. Okay, do you understand that, babe? Okay. So now we're going to find the square root on both sides. What's the square root of 49? It is 7. What's the square root of S to the second? Just S. So each side is 7. So let's draw a little square and write that each of these sides is 7. So of course, they would have an answer down there that is 7. But is 7 going to be your answer in this problem? No, because they're asking for what? They're asking for perimeter. So how do I find the perimeter of this square? Add up all the sides. Good job, babe. So what are we adding together here? 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Or what's another way? I got 28. It's 28. How did you get that? 7 times 4. Very good. He said 7 times 4. So you could add the 7s, which gives you 28. Or you can say 7 times 4, which is also So the perimeter is 28 centimeters. And it's just centimeters, not centimeters squared. It's just the length. I'm going to pause for the calls. This is your answer here. Can you open the door, baby? Thank you. Okay. Got it. I'm going to pause for the calls. All right, here we go. Let's do this number 6. Did you get it? Oh. Yep, number 6. All right, this one, I think you're going to think this one is easy. All right, so with number 6, this one is saying at which point on the number line best represents the square root of 27. So where is square root 27 on number line? So we're going to put the square root of 27 on the number line. So that means if I'm putting it on the number line, draw my number line. We got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where would the square root of 27 be on the number line? So I want you to try to figure that out and put some dots. This right here, do you think it would be here at A? Do you think it would be here at B? Do you think it would be here at C? Or do you think it would be here at D? Okay, so you decide. I'm going to pause for the calls. You tell me which letter you think it is. Raise your hand if you think that it's letter A. You think that the square root of 27 is right here. Raise your hand if you think it's B. You think that the square root of 27 is here. So we got one person. Okay. Raise your hand if you think that the square root of 27 is at C. We got a lot of people on that one. Good. And then raise your hand if you think that it's at D. And we got one person there. The answer is C. It is right here. It's between 6 and 7. Remember, the perfect square root here is the square root of 25. 5 times 5 is 25. And the perfect square root for 6 is 36. Do you see how 27 is in between these two perfect squares? So your answer here is going to be C. C is the correct answer. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's look at number 7. Shh. Which number is located between 16 and 17 on the number line? Okay, so let's do these. I'll give you some answer choices, and you choose which one of these numbers is between 16 and 17 on the number line. So we got A. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote B first. We got A, the square root of 200. We got B, the square root of 265. We have C, the square root of 320. And we have D, the square root of 300. So you choose which one you think is between 16 and 17. Again, don't forget to type in the square root sign. Second, the yellow button or yellow orange looking button, and the X squared button. That's how you type in the square root. Second, and x squared. All right, so let's look at it. Raise your hand for A. Nobody? Raise your hand for B. A bunch of people for B. Okay. Raise your hand for C. Nobody? Raise your hand for D. One person. All right, good deal. Your answer is B here. Great try, everybody. It is B. Okay. What is the perfect square root for 16? What's 16 times 16? Two what? Type it in. What's 16 times 16? 250, 256. And what is the square root of, I'm sorry, what's 17 times 17? Two what? 289. And the only, this is 16 and this is 17. Okay. And the only square root that is in between these two perfect squares is this one. 265 is between these two perfect squares. All right. Any questions about that? Yes, baby. We don't have time for another one. I was doing as many as I could. All right, y'all. I need you to put your calculators back, please. Remember, you can use your notes on your test. Please don't forget to watch the homework help video this afternoon. The homework help video I'm not going to post until 4 o'clock because I have a meeting this afternoon. 4 o'clock.